SSMB interview. Mr. Sharma, we're glad to have you on board. So the first question for today is, having been involved across different sectors of construction, what is your take on the Indian infrastructure?
Yeah, so first of all, thank you very much, Caroline, for inviting me for this discussion. Moving on to your question. So, during my last 17, 18 years of experience in infrastructure segment, so Indian infrastructure sector is growing rapidly. Center as well as state governments are spending handsomely to improve connectivity, logistics, and public infra. But as we know, infrastructure condition in India is still far behind if I compare with our peers or the developed countries. So this sector is poised to grow strongly in coming years, maybe coming decades also. So I am very optimistic, very positive about growth of this sector in India.
Since you said so, you're very positive about the infrastructure growth and growth. So what do you think? What is your take on steel versus RCC?
So, as I told you, we are already, lag behind. If I compare with, other countries, our neighboring countries, I'm not comparing with Europe or America. So, if I compare with China or Thailand, so at least we are behind by 15 to 20 years. And if we want to catch up those countries, we need to speed up our construction. As you know, construction sector is suffering from delays, which also impacts negatively on cost and quality both. So if the solution is faster construction techniques, which can be achieved by adopting modular construction and maximizing factory mode. So, and if we want to maximize factory mode, the raw material is very, very important. And what I believe steel provides us flexibility as well as speed. The steel can definitely cut down the time as well as can improve the quality of Indian construction.
Okay, that's great, sir. So the next question is, what was the inspiration behind choosing civil engineering as a profession?
So very interesting one. I belong to a tier 3 cities in from UP. So my decision to major in civil engineering was a direct result of my desire to contribute to the development of the quality infrastructure in my country. Uh, so from where it started, so when during my childhood I used to travel to my close relatives who were about 130 kilometers away from my city, and almost 6 to 7 hours were needed to complete that particular trip. So, and I always was thinking in the in the movies, on other digital media platforms, I always seen outside India is picture is totally different. So that was the one trigger point. And during my engineering days, I got my initial formal exposure to construction management. And what I came to know during my training during the graduation program, that construction management and project management is the main area where we are lagging. So I decided to be part of the construction project management fraternity. So after doing my graduation, I just started working in that particular sector of construction. Yeah.
That's wonderful, sir. So you have done large-scale airport projects. According to you, what role does steel play in aviation projects?
So as I discussed earlier, in large infrastructure projects, we need speed and flexibility both. And steel provides both of these important factors. A lot of parallel work can be done while substructures work are being performed at site. We can produce steel structure in factory at site. So thus providers required agility. The second thing with the steel is the quality. So if you have good design and good erection capabilities, you can produce a very good quality project in very short span of time. So if I summarize for airport projects, because those are big infrastructure projects, even we cannot think about airports without steel. So that much importance steel have as a material for all infrastructure project, I would say, not only airport.
Okay. According to you, which are the prime sectors of construction that will turn the tables for India as far as growth is concerned, and why?
A very interesting question and very relevant for construction sector. So as India is a large country and connectivity is the key for future growth, we all know. So associated sector like roads, aviation and rail will continue to grow for decades, I'm sure. And as all we know, government has kept big plans to invest in all three sectors. Aviation, particularly, they are going on a monetization mode where they are privatizing more and more airports. So this will give impetus to this particular sector. So one is the connectivity. The second is about the Make in India push. So government is pushing for Make in India, and this will lead to a lot of activities and growth in manufacturing sector. So the second is the manufacturing sector, which I see has the potential to lead. And the third one, last one but not the least, logistics sector. So as we know, our supply chain is very, very weak, and we need to improve on that if we want to fasten our economic growth. So this sector will also grow, including warehouses, cold stores, which are integral part of supply chain, will keep growing at a very fast pace, maybe in double digit growth trajectory.
Okay. So, like you said, there is a lot of growth in the manufacturing sector and the logistics. Which are the gray areas that need to be addressed by the industry to advocate structural steel construction in our country?
So if I compare the 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 ratio of steel structures with China, let's say we talk about China. So still in our country, that ratio or that particular projects are being done via steel is still very, very low. And to improve that, I think we should have a better functional and flexible design. Not only for infrastructure project, the steel could be very, very handful in multi-story office building projects or other projects. The second one is the trained teams for erection. So even though the designs are good, but what I in last 8 to 9 years, what I faced as a gray area or as a weaker area, that we do not have the erection teams who are trained properly to do a quality erection as well as with full of safety. So this is the second point. The third point is you must be knowing, and we all are suffering, that fire and weatherproofing is very, very costly for steel. And because of this, somehow, so steel construction becomes unviable. So we have to have the local R&D to bring this particular cost down. And then increasing supply and availability of more sections. So if we talk about sections available in Indian market are very, very limited. And whenever a designer is designing a building, he has to, if he wants to go on cold rolled sections, then he has to sometime go on higher section which are not optimized and increase the cost. This is to our industry. For the government, I think government should promote the domestic manufacturing and procurement of goods, so that the domestic manufacturing sector can take benefit out of it. And the government should also create the environment for the foreign investment in steel industry.
Okay, great. Which has been your best work so far involving structural steel?
So, if I talk about the best work, we are doing 3 large airport projects in India currently, and all 3 projects are one of its kind. They have very, very unique, design, timeline, and all. But if in my personal opinion, though Lucknow Airport project is the biggest, what we are doing,
Hmm.
almost 1.2 million square feet terminal building we are doing.
Amazing.
But I feel the Tirchi International Airport is very, very unique in terms of steel structure design. Very unique design, and the roofing is very, very unique. And steel played a important part in this particular design. With concrete, it is not possible.
Hmm.
So the Tirchi Airport, I will rate in terms of architectural features, one of the best what we are doing right now.
Okay. Wonderful, sir. We're looking forward to have this project on board. What are Aegis plan for the next 5 years?
Very important question for us. So Aegis has a very, very optimistic plan for next 5 years. If I talk about the current, where are we? So we have around 2,600 people in India and 16,000 plus globally.
That's massive.
Uh, we have started India-based engineering design center,
Hmm.
which will give us growth and knowledge by delivering outside India, particularly Western world projects.
Hmm.
And this will give us impetus to improve and do more projects in India.
Hmm.
If I talk about our future plans, so it includes definitely doubling our size in next 5 years. Very, very optimistic we are about, and we are sure that in India we will surpass this particular target.
Hmm.
And we will also foray into new services like advisory, BIM, not only designing, BIM management, BIM advisory also,
Hmm.
and airport operation and maintenance. So we will be there. We will be bidding for upcoming projects as a concessionaire as soon as government comes up with new airports for the privatization.
Great. Last question, sir. What is your mantra for success?
So my mantra, it's very, very straight and small. So always be open for new techniques, new technologies, and adapt as fast as possible, because construction industry is also now coming up with so much of new technologies, new things, and in India we need to ready to be flexible and adapt.
Thank you, sir. I think this interview is supposed to inspire and encourage a lot of new engineers, as well as a lot of learning that will go through. So thank you for that.